Hello everyone, this is Uxale speaking, and this video is the result of me playing a Chronomancer after about 7 hours. So first let me show you a trick, how to get time warp on about 60 seconds cooldown. First thing you do, you create some clones to be able to do F5 flutter. Then you enter F5 and use the time warp. Then you leave continuous shift. What this does, puts your continuous shift on the 90 seconds cooldown or 75 if you've got illusions line, and you return to the state from before continuous shift, that is having time warp. Now what you are not supposed to do is cast another time warp again. Time warp is on 180 seconds cooldown and continuous shift is on what cooldown? You might have noticed that my shutters and other skills get green from time to time. This is alacrity which comes from shattering illusions against a gate. Alacrity reduces the cooldowns of everything. By the way, you might have noticed you are watching the video of a guy shattering clones against the reinforced gate. And you still haven't closed YouTube yet. Now I don't dodge here, and I don't have any problem with clones. This is because I combined the Scepter trait and Illusions line with Chrono Phantasma trait, which returns me a phantasm once after I shatter it, and with Illusionary Reversion trait, which gives me a clone after I shatter. Effectively, I have a lot of clones in this build. So for the first time ever, clones are not really a problem. Okay, so in this video I'm using Focus, not Shield. I have tried to make Berserker Power Chronomancer work, but I simply can't do it yet. Chronomancer is very different from a mesmer, even if it doesn't seem so. This is why I decided to start slowly, combining what I know with the new Chronomancer mechanisms. Constant alacrity reduced me continuous shift to 60 seconds, as in cooldown. I could make it higher if I went Chaos, Shield, and traded alacrity. Okay, and this is how you get any skill you want except Portal on 60 second cooldown. With Portal, continuous shift simply doesn't work that way. Okay, so this is more or less what I have selected in terms of traits. More or less because I'm still calibrating this. I'm using Rampager Carrion mix, because no Sinister and exotics you get from beta. Okay, so how to test yourselves against a worthy opponent? You need to face a Doliak. Alacrity synergizes perfectly with Staff, making cooldowns bearable. Scepter Focus is my offensive set and Staff is my defensive and shatter set. And Doliak has died in literally 10 seconds. Okay, so some 1v1s. When I was on a power build, this Burn Guardian literally farmed me. Now the funny thing in the build I'm using is the fact that I don't really have bleeds. The bleeds and burns come from staff clones, but I never have problems with clones, so I always shatter with 2 or 3 of them. This is why the amount of torment and confusion I put on enemy, even without Ineptitude, is insane. By the way, note the stray clone which appears after I try to shatter and let the Guardian recover. This will be a problem in duels. Here I'm facing Ranger in close range, while I'm trying to defend the keep. He doesn't have a bad condition removal, note that nothing really sticks to him, but I put up conditions constantly. Note that one thing I'm doing here is I'm using decoy properly. I rarely use decoy, so you don't see me use it, so you don't see the difference in efficiency I have right now, but this lets me counter everything the Ranger can do against me right now. Another fight. Ranger on higher grounds, I'm trying to decap the ruin. The Ranger made a major mistake thinking I'm going to escape and losing the higher ground while I just used continuous shift to get mass invisibility, but my timings don't work yet. I should have cast Chaos Storm anywhere. And with this Temple Curtain I have won the fight. Normally if I cast Warden and shattered it, I would lose it. Now when I cast Warden and shatter it, it will start running back towards the Ranger. Similar thing with Warlocks. Chrono Phantasma gives me insane damage, not to mention the pressure from Condis. And a fight against a thief. Usually when we fight against the thieves, they win if they are able to put more pressure on mesmers than mesmers put on thieves. My opponent seems to be some kind of condition thief using poison as main damage source. As you can see in this fight, the pressurer is me. I've got Phantasmal Defender, which means I've got at least one Phantasm after I dodge. With Warlock, Warden or any Phantasm and Chrono Phantasma, I've got second Phantasm up. That is after every shatter. And I also get clone after I shatter from Illusionary Reversion. This means I usually, after shatter, have 2 clones up. Well, 2 illusions. Shatters feed Alacrity, which reduce the cooldowns. The clone recharge trait in Illusions line feeds the defender from dodging. Effectively, this is quite a tanky Chronomancer with quite high damage, who never worries about the clones. And condition removal comes from Inspiration line. Okay, it was quite a lot to take, so let's combine all of that. I initiate with Temporal Shift on Monster Invisibility to be able to destroy a Doliak. To be completely honest, I've done it far too early. I should have came closer to them or even bait them a bit and then do the temporal shift thingy. Okay, so real Predator completely ignores players and focuses on the Doliaks. Note that I'm quite generous with shatters up to the point I'm using F3 shatter against the Doliak. Both Scepter clone and Staff clone, which I get from the shatter, will use auto attack conditions against the Dolly. Okay, so there's one more opponent. A second Doliak. Haha, Necro and Guardian. I can port away. Haha. Oh, the portal is slightly out of range? Ouch, ouch, ouch. Nope, 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 nope. Bravely ran away. Well, I still have access to mass invisibility, and afterwards staff gives me unparalleled mobility, so I can try to go and kill that particular Doliak. Please note that while I'm kiting them, I'm generating clones and phantasms at the same time, which will in the future serve as fodder fodder. Okay, what Decoy does in this build is gives me a bit of time to think, breathe, and look at the positioning and situation. They simply had to go to the Doliak to cover it, but I didn't have to charge it while I'm not ready. What Scepter does in this build, unlike Sword, is the nice amount of conditions from Scepter 3 and Scepter 2. It still lets me stay in melee against my opponents, and that's where I want to be honest. But as the previous video showed, Staff and Sword are very defensive set. I need to be in melee all the time. Scepter gives me nice damage while I'm able to stay at range, and Decoy compensates the weakness of not having Blur from Sword 2. Okay, so they want to take me down. Here I use continuous shift. I should have done F4, F1, F2, F3, every possible fat order, because I will be reset to position anyway, and I would be able to put some massive condiburst on opponents. Well, it wouldn't help much, and I may have great condition removal. This would be a much better move than what I did. Actually, proper use of continuous shift seems to be the way to properly play a Chronomancer, and it makes the class completely different from the mesmer. Okay, so now look at the map, please. I get reinforcements in forms of Asmodan. So a 1 versus 2 fight just became 2 versus 2, and now we are able to defeat them. That is assuming I am able not to die in the crucial moment, which forces me to use distortion. By the way, why am I using decoy? First, I need time to think about what I am doing. This is not really like a mesmer. Second, between the trait which reduces the snares, decoy, illusion line and alacrity, it would be a shame not to take it. Besides, +1 clone to shatter. So now you can see how it works in a party. In party I use Chaos Storm for support reasons. I try to stay close combat to be able to shatter. I try to take blocks on Scepter 2, and I kind of hover around the fight, but as close as possible. This Chronomancer is the denial unit between Confusion and Torment. It doesn't really have any other condition, adding Reflects, Alacrity and Slow to the fight. What I really do not take an advantage from is the amount of multi-hits I have from Eye Warden. It might be better to swap in this particular build I'm using right now, focus for shield, and take on every shatter you heal and drop conditions. This would move the build closer into support, less into control, because well, I lose the reflex, right? But if I have decoy, I don't need reflex that badly. And between Phantasmal Defender, lots of alacrity flying around, slowing the opponents, and 3 blocks on Scepter, Shield and Melee, this could actually warrant dropping Chrono Phantasma and taking the, well, quickness on Shatter. Because then we've got someone to stomp and to res faster, especially combined with Medic's feedback. Actually, this sounds like something I could try today. Anyway, one thing which makes it very difficult to balance between Chronomancer and Mesmer is F5 Shatter. Not only you have access to elites more often than you should, but you are able to do a massive burst with everything you have. Maybe this is why I didn't manage to make the power Mesmer work yet. Sorry, power Chronomancer. That is having inspiration line. Perhaps this is a key. Perhaps I will be able to do it only after I understand how the F5 Shatter really works. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun with the Doliak slaying. F5 gives us so many opportunities and options, it's simply, well, dizzying. So good luck, Erxal is out.